Hey y'all, this is Cindy. I'm the Tireless Tangler, and you've arrived at day 8 of our 100 Days of Zentangle Project 2020. Thank you so much for being with me today. I am going to do a sort of double deal here. We are going to learn today the tangles Hollis and Moonpie by Zentangle HQ. And Hollis is sort of a framework for Moonpie, and that's going to work out. I don't know if there are any other videos. As far as I know, there is no written step out for Moonpie, so we are just going to have to figure it out as we go. So let me show you Hollis first, as that is the framework, and we're going to need that to build on. I'm just using a practice tile. It's one of the Zentangle Apprentice tiles. It gives me a little extra room. So Hollis is sort of a vine tangle, and it's going to start with an open C shape. Sort of like that. And then, of course, we are going to aura this. And I'm just going to end mine off, but you don't have to. All right. Zoom in a little bit for you. Okay, so what we're going to do is aura, or redraw this line. When we come up here to the top, we're going to do another C shape, or an almost spiral shape. And then we're going to come around here. And aura this back down. And you can treat the ends as you wish. There's no right and wrong. There wouldn't be anyway. So now what you want to do is continue on like this, and each one you're going to start with the one you drew before. Follow that line up. Make your almost spiral. Aura, and bring it back down. Okay? And you can pretty much play with these however you'd like. If you want to, you can start over here and draw one right here. Now the way these are drawn is very similar to Muka. It just doesn't have the little ball on the end. Okay, let's do some more. You can put these wherever you would like. You just want that C shape, that open C shape. And you can add them. And I suppose if you wanted to do this with a Muka end, you absolutely could. Now, it was not my intention to get larger there. I just got a little overwhelmed and excited. You want your lines can be thick or thin. What you want is line consistency. So all of them should be thick, or all of them should be thin, but this is going to be okay. Let me start my tile. I think you guys are going to understand Moonpie just fine. I am going to use one of my very precious Zentangle Zendalas. I only have a few more of these, so they are very special to me. And I am just going to pick a spot here. And I think I'm going to, I don't know how it's going to turn out. You guys know it's always fun for me to find out too. But I think I'm going to make my initial stalk here in the middle of the tile and see what happens. So I think I'm going to round it out a little bit more. All right. All right. I'm not going to sweat it if my lines aren't perfect, but I am going to continue to try for nice line consistency. Now, what I think I would like to try on this is to go out in different directions and see what happens. So I'm just going to let my creativity flow. I hope you will let yours flow and see what comes out for Hollis. Got my shaky hands going on. That is okay though, I'm gonna go with it. All right, now I have the opportunity to follow this line up. And I'm gonna continue to make a careful aura down to the end. All right, and Moonpie is a tangle we're going to put between these little stalks, and so I want to leave plenty of little V shapes like this where we're going to be able to put Moonpie in. In fact, let me go ahead and step that out for you. There is no written step out, but it's not hard. You guys can probably figure it out if you go to the Zentangle blog and search for Hollis. You're going to learn to do this. Okay, now, as I said, there is no step out for this, so I'm just going to do what works for me, and you guys can change that up if you like. So what she did next was make some echo lines, although I'm not sure that would be exactly correct. From the base up to this arid line up here, this circular one. Okay, and then at the top of this, to dress it up, she has put a tiny bit of line weight, or a little bit of rounding at the top of this, like that, on each of these lines. Just a tiny bit. And it dresses it up really nicely, doesn't it? All right, now we're going to put another band going this direction, and that is going to be a little wider, like so. All right, so here we're going to want to put another double aura, or double line, like so. And then what she has done is she has striped this with big stripes. So I'm going to, because this is curved, and sometimes if you'll notice when you try to stripe things that have a curve in them, your stripes will end up looking funny. So the easiest way to handle that is to start with one right in the middle, and then keep pointing them at this right here. Yeah? So just make them nice and big like this, and point the stripes towards the middle there. Okay, now we're going to black these, every other one alternately. Taking your time, right? I hope everyone is well and safe, and that the people that you love are well and safe. My heart is really breaking when I see so many families and lives destroyed by this. It's just so tough. And it's hard because there's no one to blame, really. Unless you're... Okay, I'm stopping right now. Stop right now, Cindy, before you get in trouble. All right. Now, as soon as you're at this point, you're going to put some largish orbs all the way across here. So, and I'm going to start just like that. And as always with my orbs, I try to start them and stop them right on the same line. Mostly I get a more consistent orb, and my lines aren't quite so messy, which is a big plus for me. Now we're going to black these in, of course, these little triangle things that are left. Taking your time. If you get some stray marks, it's not the end of the world. Now for a finishing touch, you aura the orbs. Remembering, if you take your time, you're going to get a much nicer finished project. All right, that, my ladies and gentlemen, is Moonpie. You heard it here first. As far as I know, there's not another step out for it, but that wasn't very hard. Everybody can figure that out. So I'm going to continue to fill this round space with Moonpies and Hollis. So let's see what happens. All right, so now we have all the inking done. I want to show you quickly how I shaded this. I'm going to start by adding some dark shading with my pencil along the base in each of these little crevices where I have the moon pies. And then I also think I'm going to run some graphite, for me, along the left side. You could do the right, it doesn't matter. And then the last part of shading the moon pies is to really put a nice dark shadow around a little crescent moon section of each of these orbs. Now this can be time consuming, but the difference it makes in how they look is amazing. Even before I blend it out, it helps so much with the depth and sort of giving a bit of a 3D quality to this piece. The orbs make a huge difference on this. They're large enough to be easily shaded, at least in mine they were. And it just takes a little heavy graphite along one side in a crescent moon shape. And you'll be amazed they don't even have to be perfect, but it makes a huge difference in how amazing your piece will look. Now, in Maria Thomas's example of this in their newsletter, she used a Renaissance tile and had a lot of fun with a white charcoal pencil. And that is always fun for shading as well. So I think you can see on some of these that I have already shaded that even just adding the graphite before blending it out is a big way to make your art stand out. All of the little things that you feel like are imperfect, and I certainly had my share in this, just melt into the background with the force of the overall piece. And it's very difficult to get to the point where you can accept your art as it is. But one of the things that I found the most helpful, as I keep preaching to you guys, is to slow down, make each and every part of your art important to you. Spend time with your shading. Spend time with your inking. When you're blacking a spot, take the time to really get in there and do a complete blacking job. When you're shading, make sure you have a nice sharp pencil so that you're really getting into the little crevices between the orbs, and it will lay down the graphite much easier for you. Now I'm using an F pencil on this, but I'm also a student of Annie Oken, and as many of you know, she got her name from teaching shading from her amazing ebook called Shading Fearlessly. And she is a fearless shader, I tell you, and I have very much been influenced by the way that she takes on shading, and so I tend to like a darker shade. However, if you prefer it more lighter and more delicate, you may certainly do as you wish. I think it's to each his own. I am much more a flamboyant, dramatic type of a person, and so I really like my art to be the same as I, flamboyant and rich and full of contours. Now, one other thing that I might do after I make sure I have hit all of my edges here, let's see. I'm going to do one other thing in a couple of spots, and I wanted to show you that by adding graphite, just a very narrow, thin piece of graphite all the way around the inside of your little tendrils there, that can make a big difference in giving a little interest to your little to the little Hollis tendrils. Now I'm just smudging this out ever so gently with my tortillon. And I'm just running over, and I'm sorry so much of this video has been out of frame. I was pretty disappointed. I checked on my iPad today. It's still, I got one of those non-answer answers from Sprint. So we will see when that comes. I am hoping that the camera angles and the shaking and the other issues that I'm having with these are going to be helped tremendously by that. I tried filming this on my iPhone today, and the staying in frame was a huge issue for me. So we will see how that goes as time goes on. So I decided to have a little bit of fun with my chop today, and it ended up pretty fun. I'm making my chop a little bit bigger to begin with, and then because we had been doing all these thin auras and things, I decided to put an aura in here and then check the band along. And then I decided to do the same thing. And then I decided to put some orbs over the top like we had in our pattern today. And it just sort of morphed from there. It was fun. It was a lot of fun to do that. I don't think I smiled that much in all day as I did just dressing up the chop today. So there you go. That was much fun. Don't forget to put the aura. There you go, Cindy. Good job. How fun is that? That is so fun. That is it for today, guys. It's my Hollis and Moonpie tile. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please give me a comment and let me know who you are and what you're up to. And I'll see you tomorrow.